Black conservative Larry Elder is now making a case for slave owners to have reparations while still dismissing descendants of the enslaved having reparations. Here it is.
Right behind them.
By the way, when you mentioned that the UK was ahead of us, they were. Do you know that the slave owners were compensated? After they lost their quote unquote property, the government compensated slave owners.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so when people talk about reparations, do they really want to have that conversation? Because like it or not, slavery was legal. And so their property, their legal property was taken away from them after the Civil War. So you could make an argument that the people that are owed reparations, and not only just black people, but also the people whose quote property, close quote, was taken away after the end of the Civil War.
Yeah, you ignorant SOB. I'm willing to have that conversation. Larry Elder is running for governor of California, by the way. So let's have that conversation, Larry. And by the way, stop ignoring my people who have been trying to get you on this program for a very long time. You continue to ignore. If you believe in your policies, bring your happy ass up into the bullpen and let's debate, period, okay? Run tell that. Now, let me go ahead and dissect where Larry Elder is 100% completely ignorant of what he says. So Larry thinks that people were property. I don't care what law you deem, what statute you are behind, or what constitution you believe in. People are people, not property, period, okay? Now, the argument of reparations is about repair. This country is for reparations. The United States of America is for reparations. We have given reparations to the Japanese, to Native Americans. We have given reparations to many that have been involved in experimentation against their will, without their knowledge. Reparations is something that this government has enacted, not only on the federal level, but also state and other local governments. That is the truth. Do the homework. Here's the other thing, Larry. While Larry is talking about the UK, you don't have to go to the UK to find that slave owners actually receive reparations. You can start right here in the good old United States of America. The irony is unreal. Before I go to that, let me give you context to this conversation. Larry Elder, 69 years of age, sat down with Candace Owens. Candace Owens is still the #1 black white supremacist. Larry Elder has not knocked her off that #1 spot yet. A conservative talk show host and author to share his views on the current state of race relations and why the black community, as he says, plays the victim card as reported by Insider. During their conversation, Elder and Owens, who are both, as you can tell, black, touched on the topics of reparations. Elder, however, argued that enslaved individuals were legally deemed property at the time. He noted that slave owners and their estates are owed compensation for the human property they lost following the end of the Civil War and the passage of the 13th Amendment, which partially abolished slavery after 1865. Now, let me take you back to the 13th Amendment. Because slavery was not abolished by the 13th Amendment. As a matter of fact, slavery is still legal in the United States of America. Let's go to the 13th Amendment. The 13th Amendment, ratified in 1865, essentially abolished slavery. However, it also made it legal to exploit people as a punishment for crime. Here's the wording of the Constitution. Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude except as a punishment for crime. That means that slavery is legal if it is utilized under the pretext as a punishment for criminal activity, okay? Now, let's go to the reparations that already happened for slave owners in the United States of America. Let me take you back to April 16th, 1862. Here it is, President Abraham Lincoln. He signed something emancipating people in Washington. But to ease the pain of slave owners, the District of Columbia Emancipation Act paid who? Slave owners. Up to $300 for every person that was freed. Do the calculation, that equates to about $10,000 to $12,000 per person today. So literally, we had an act signed by a president to give reparations to slave owners in the United States of America. That is what we did. But we're still debating on if reparations is proper for descendants of slaves in this country. Larry Elder is making a ridiculous argument. I hope to have him on the show very soon to debate me in person. Attorney at law, Adrienne, what are your thoughts here?
Well, to the extent that Larry Elder is on your show, I'm hoping it is as the gubernatorial candidate who did not win the actual election. As we know, he is running for governor in California here in the event that Gavin Newsom is recalled. This man and his nonsense, it is very dangerous. And if he's essentially, him and Candace Owens are rapping together, I think it tells us that there's nothing but trouble to be had there. But also his very limited and ignorant mindset with regard to reparations and slavery, it misses the mark through and through. We had 250 years of slavery, 90 years of Jim Crow, 60 years of separate but equal, and 35 years racist housing policies. We've also had this criminal justice mill that takes advantage of that loophole in the 13th Amendment that you just mentioned, essentially funneling black and brown people, predominantly black people, into the criminal justice system and essentially taking their lives and their livelihoods away from them. We have seen so much degradation and oppression that has been administered at the hands of the United States, yet there has been no reckoning and no reparations made. So for Larry Elder to sit there and say that, hey, white people lost too, they lost property, get out of here. If anything, the benefits are still flowing through from our slavery, from all those years and the years that have come in addition to and been built upon them.
That's right, well said.